Hello and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to sort of be unboxing, sort of be going through this fat, oh that hurt my hand, box of books. So I did a call out a little while ago on Twitter to basically say, hey publishers, I'm doing a video on children's books about mental health that are coming out in 2022. We are halfway through 2022, I am aware of that. Initially I planned to read all of these and then do the video once I'd reviewed them all, but I kind of been so busy, like everyone, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to delay it anymore, I just want to create this video. So hopefully I will get around to actually reviewing these all properly, but for now I'm going to just take you through them, my initial thoughts, if I know anything about them. Yeah, let's go. So the first ones I'm actually going to start with is a series. It's the Mindful Kids series. So this is what we actually publish on our Studio Press imprint at work, so I'm well aware of these ones, hence I'm starting with these ones. First of all, beautiful spines, beautiful, really colourful. These are my kind of book. They are not so wordy, they're like illustrative, they're colourful, and they're all about mental health. Each one has a different focus. So for example, we have Be Brave, Online, Offline, which is kind of like a technology one, Sleep Tight, Be Positive, Be Green, No Worries, Be Kind. There's also Be Calm, and we've got a new one coming out which is Be Resilient. Sorry if my bracelet keeps jangling. These are essentially activity books, so if you have any kids or if you work in a school or whatever it may be, that they're not particularly a big reader, which is fine, kind of, these are the perfect ones. So they're perfect because they are really colourful inside, really interactive, and kind of like minimal words on there, but still getting the message across, whatever it's trying to portray on that page or in that particular book. So for example, there's, like, let's go to Worry Time. Okay, so this is Be Brave. So Worry Time, ask an adult at home to do this activity with you. If there's more than one adult, they can take turns. So set a timer to do this for 10 minutes every day for 10 days. There's so many things in here that I actually think we as adults should be doing, and we should do this as a kind of mindful practice. These are obviously, as I said, mindfulness books, and I feel like, you know, I would heavily encourage people to do this even though it's technically a kid's book. Record your worry time, tick these things such as it's okay to be brave, I'm here for you, I'm listening. It's kind of like drilling that into kids' heads from the very early ages. Colouring, spot the difference. Genuinely just think these are great. Like, these are such my book to a T. I love an activity book personally, and I think these are just perfect, and I'm definitely going to be using them. As I said, there are more that are coming out. This isn't the end of the series, these are just the ones that I have at my home at the moment. I would so recommend these. Just because you use the pages on here doesn't mean you can't take those activities away and use them elsewhere on your own pad as well. Okay, moving on, we have A Shelter for Sadness by Anne Booth and David Litchfield. So this is actually one of ours at work again. This is under the Templar book imprints, which is our gifty books and our picture books. So this is like really nicely illustrated throughout, and it's essentially this character that gives himself a shelter for his sadness. So it's kind of protecting that sadness that he feels and not kind of trying to push it away and saying, oh, it's a bad thing. I love the illustration aspect of it, how like you have this cute little sadness creature. This has done so well for us, and that is for a good reason. So that's Shelter for Sadness. Okay, next we have You Don't Have to Be Loud. You Don't Have to Be Loud, Ben Brooks, a quiet kid's guide to being heard. Love this. As I wouldn't say I was a particularly quiet child, but I definitely think in sort of secondary school I definitely did lose a lot of my confidence. So by the looks of it, I would say this is a mixed age. Definitely could be read to as younger children, but definitely could be used as a teenager as well, or starting secondary school. Okay, so we've got some quotes in there as well. So Stephen Hawking, the scientist, said, quiet people have the loudest minds. I like that. There's actually loads of facts and things throughout. It's really nice two colour as well. So the whole inside, it's kind of black and white, which is mono, but then you have an extra colour, which is the red in this case. Culture of Soft Shyness. Let's have a look at the contents. Okay, so introduction, you're not alone. 1, what is shyness? 2, everyone's different. 3, practice makes perfect. 4, everyone belongs somewhere. 5, your time online. 6, the glory of being alone. 7, you don't have to be loud. Oh, and they've got a resources section as well. Let's check that out. Oh, amazing. Okay, so they've got different book resources, online resources, mindfulness course for kids, love that, free meditation app, references, and an index as well. I think that's great. That is perfect. I definitely think that's quite specific, obviously, if you have a child, or maybe if you have a school library and you notice a particular child is quite quiet and they don't like that about themselves, or they're struggling with that. This sounds like it would be the perfect book for them. Still got illustrations throughout as well to make it fun and less daunting. Okay, next. How to Grow Up, okay, and Feel Amazing, the No Worries Guide for Boys. Okay, so this immediately is just for boys. I think from what I've seen as well, girls tend to read a lot more than boys, so potentially this is a good thing that it kind of excludes girls and is focusing just on for boys, because boys can connect with it more. As boys approach puberty, there can be a lot going on, tricky emotions, changing bodies, mood swings and more, but it's all part of the exciting journey of growing up. Okay, again, I think this is actually, is this the same series? No, maybe not. No, it's not, but it's from the same publisher, Wren and Rook, part of Hachette Children's, because they also, the reason I thought it was the same series is because it has that same style, same illustrative style, and it's got two colours throughout, so in this case it's green. I think this is like a puberty must-have for boys. It's even got things in there like online porn, sleep. This is actually really open. And it's really interesting because we've just published a book on the Hockey imprint called Honest, Everything They Don't Tell You About Sex, Relationships and Bodies by TikTok sensation Millie Evans, and it's more for, I guess there is no gender specific person who it's for, but that is very similar concept to this, so this is really interesting that it's just tailored for boys. And that one potentially is a bit older as well, although this again, I mean, it's got diagrams in there and things, looking after your skin, finding your voice. Okay, so introduction, 1, this is me, 2, Hakuna Matata, 3, I'll be there for you, 4, let's talk about sex, 5, beautiful people, 6, feeling good as hell, how to grow up and feel amazing. Again, there's resources in here as well, which I love. I always find that really helpful even in adult books, because you can then go on, if you like this, you can go on to some other books from there. Next one, Split Survival Kit. Oh, I did look at this briefly when I unpacked this, and this is the same publisher again. It is very specific, again, but I think so needed for a lot of people. So 10 steps for coping with your parents' separation. So this is obviously tailored for the people whose parents are going through a divorce or something similar. I think this would probably be invaluable to someone going through that, because especially at the time, the parents are probably feeling a lot of emotions as well, and therefore can't connect with the child, and sometimes the child might need something completely different, talk to someone completely different, or in this case have a book that talks to them. So there's kind of top tips in there, there's ideas to try, split into different chapters. I think this would be really practical, really, really useful. Statistics wise, the amount of people that are unfortunately separating, this is not going to be like a really small audience at all. It's niche, but there's a lot of people out there that will be going through this. Next we have Maz Evans' The Wobbly Life of Scarlet Fifi. Fifi? I'm going to assume that's how to pronounce it. Okay, so this looks like a middle grade book from first off, just because it's got a couple of hundred pages. It's mainly text heavy with a few illustrations on some of the pages, and just the style of the cover makes me think it's more of a middle grade book. The blurb says, Scarlet Fifi has big feelings and she's about to get into big trouble. What if every time you squash down your feelings, they wobbled back up with shocking results? I like this. Scarlet's world is going a bit wobbly, literally. And when life gets wobbly, things can get messy. Watch out. I love that. I remember being taught in secondary school the idea that if you keep suppressing things, things are just going to explode, and that's kind of exploring this but in a fun way, talking literally about jelly and making a mess and that sort of thing, which I think is really accessible and approachable and less scary way of dealing with these emotions. Okay, we have the same author here so we looked at How to Grow Up by Dr. Ranj. This is now Brain Power, Toolkit to Understand and Train Your Unique Brain. Okay, this is really interesting. So this is, I mean, we learn a lot in schools, both primary and secondary, about biology and our body, but this is really focused on the brain and emotions, which I love, and it's more of a sciencey book. So definitely like an early STEM or STEM book. There's things like autism in here, nerve endings, mental health problems, and again, we have helpful resources at the back. That sounds great, and it looks as though there's quite a lot of humour in there as well, because the back page says brains don't look like much, do they? A touch of slime here, some squishy grey stuff there, but in fact your brain is more powerful than any supercomputer and is completely unique. That's right, no one else has a brain quite like yours. I think that's really a strong start, and I'm definitely going to have a look at that for myself as well. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of kids books out there that teach adults things as well. Okay, next one is Julia and the Shark. Okay, so fun fact about me, shark is my favourite animal. It's got this nice foil cover. Let's have a look. Okay, it's very text heavy. There's very minimal illustrations. So it says, my name is Julia. This is the story of the summer I spent on an island living in a lighthouse. The summer I almost lost my mum and found a shark older than trees. Don't worry though, that doesn't spoil the ending. Okay, so this doesn't give away a lot, and this is kind of my fault again where I haven't actually read some of these, but by the sounds of it, it's a fiction book, Obviously it's probably from a narrator's point of view that's quite young, trying to fit in with the target audience, I guess. I'm going to assume this is more to do with loneliness and deep thoughts, so that's that one, Juliet and the Shark. Next one is Bumble and Snug and the Angry Pirates. Okay, this definitely is a younger book. Meet Bumble and Snug, the bestest of friends. Bumble and Snug are going on an epic journey. Well, they're going for a picnic. But when they get lost, these little monsters with big feelings will have to work together. Throw in some angry pirates, many hats. Bumble loves a good hat, and a disaster or two, and you've got a recipe for adventure. Are you ready for a super mega friendship power rescue mission? Okay, okay, this is very nice. This is really illustrative. This is almost like a picture book, but for an older audience, because there is a fair bit of writing in here. It's almost like a graphic novel. Really love the amount of colour going on here. Not only is it colourful, it's bright neon colours as well. I love that. Again, exploring the ideas of feelings. Okay, the next one is another middle grade by the looks of it. This is a proof, so Sadie and her shadow beasts. Grief let the monsters in, finding her voice will banish them. The unmissable new middle grade talent. No illustrations, it's very text heavy, which makes me think, yeah, it's definitely for middle grade. So the author's a writer, editor and poet, passion for broadening the scope of authentic black representation in YA and children's fiction. This is about grief, family and finding your voice in the darkness. This 12-year-old has been escaping to an imaginary world. I used to love those books and films as a child, you know, things like Narnia and was it The Bridge to Terabithia, those sorts of things. Her sister signs her up to an anonymous grief counselling group and her anxiety gets better. Okay, so it sounds like there's some really positive outlooks on mental health in that one. The next one is What is Mental Health? Where does it come from? And Other Big Questions by Dr. Lucy Maddox. This is a really thin book, but by the looks of it, really information packed. Like, there is a lot of information on this. This is a non-fiction. It's by an authentic voice from a consultant clinical psychologist and writer. There's some case studies in there by the looks of it. There's pros and cons. There's experiences. There's support available. So that is a really specific non-fiction, if like one-stop guide to mental health. The next one is The Big Book of Feelings. Okay, so this is a board book or a picture book for younger readers because it's a lift the flap matching game. So there's happy, there's sad, there's angry, there's calm, there's brave, there's scared, feeling left out. There's kind, tired, excited, disgusted, delighted, embarrassed, worried, jealous, proud. And then finally, let's play. Okay, so you have all of the different emotions there. How quickly can you find them? Okay, I have now, so this is not working. And then you have different flap ups there. So it's encouraging you to look back in the book and find them again and seeing those different examples. That's a really accessible one. So it looks like it's part of a series. First 100 farm words, 100 words, first 100 machines. Cool, I really like this one. Again, really colourful. Perfect for toddlers. So the next one is the Stompersaurus. Now, story time, I was in Waterstones recently in Trafalgar Square with my manager and she was like, oh, look at that one. And I was like, oh, I actually have that. And before I explained that I was doing this video, she was very confused why I had a kids book called Stompersaurus. But, you know, children's reading is for all reading. This is a beautiful picture book. I love these illustrations of the cute and adorable little Stompersaurus, even with his eyebrows down and roaring, he's still like lovable. I guess it's kind of exploration of coping with overwhelming feelings, frustration, anger. The author also has books called The Worrysaurus and The Lion Inside. Cool. Next one is, I would say we're just over halfway. Mindfulness and Me, Mindful Spaces, activities to help you find the calm in the busy. Loved it. Okay, so there's not too many pages on here. Different mindfulness exercises, gratitude, confidence. I like this, it gives kind of really short, sharp stories. So here are 2 moments of mindfulness that help these children cope with a challenge. What would you do in these situations? This is definitely one that would be one that you can read with your child. So there's activities in here like making a mandala, how this helps. So it's something that you can do together. The next one is Today I'm Strong, a story about finding your inner strength. Again, a picture book, quite a large picture book, written by a star from the Great British Bake Off. It's a story about bullying by the looks of it. Really cute illustrations, the children look really sweet. Not too long, a perfect bedtime read, I guess, especially maybe after your child had a particularly tough day at school. The next one is We Got This, a book about resilience. A really sturdy picture book or board book, minimal text, again, illustrations really colourful throughout. Every page basically reminding the reader that it's okay, you've got this, no matter what's happening, you've got this. Next one is the Art for the Heart. Okay, a fill-in art journal for a happy, confident you. This may be a children's book, but I'm absolutely going to be using this. Love this. Okay, so there's big bold pages, such as one that just says think positive, making art makes you feel good. But there's also comics that you can colour in. There's activity books such as filling in a table. Really like this. This is kind of similar to the Mindful Kids series that we looked at the start of this video, but that is Art for the Heart. Love that title as well. Okay, a few more to go. The next few are hardback. So the very first, You by Scott Stewart. Nobody has ever smiled your smile or run the way that you run. The chances of you being born as you are will fall 400 trillion to 1. Scott Stewart encourages young readers to embrace their uniqueness and share their individuality with the world in this empowering and funny book. It looks like it's very space themed, there's pirates there. Basically celebrating diversity, celebrating uniqueness. Next one is From My Head to My Toes, I Say What Goes. Okay, I might say yes to pillow fights, a kiss when I'm tucked in at night. I might say no to climbing high, a tickling game or a hug goodbye. From my head to my toes, I say what goes. Okay, this is all about consent then. So nestles the concept of consent in a light-hearted rhyming story that is perfect to read out loud. Unfortunately, something that we have to do in this world is kind of remind children from a very young age that consent is theirs to give and theirs to take back if need be. How to Be a Real Man, again by Scott Stewart. Men should be strong with helping hands, men should fight for what is right, men should be brave and show how they feel. But Scott Stewart encourages boys to embrace who they truly are in this empowering and funny story, smashing age-old assumptions about what it means to be a man. And then we've got a man with a ballet dress on the front as well. Olive is next. This is a hardback, again looks like, a picture book. Kind of like a dated, not so contemporary illustrative style, but quite detailed. One day the unthinkable happens and Leela must say goodbye to her beloved cat, Olive. She plants an olive tree in remembrance, but it isn't until a stray cat comes into Leela's life that she's ready to let go. When we open our hearts, love finds us. That's really sweet. Okay, just a few more to go. Oh, okay, so earlier we looked at the Stompersaurus and I said the author is also the author of the Worrysaurus, which we actually have here. So this is a lot smaller. It's got this gorgeous foil on the front. This is much more of a bold book for toddlers. Yeah, super cute. All about anyone that's anxious or feeling worried. My hands feel so gross after touching so many of these books. The Boy Whose Wishes Came True by Helen Rutter. Again, a middle grade book. Few hundred pages. All you have to do is imagine something happening and then wish for it out loud. Also the author of The Boy Who Made Everyone Laugh. So it's about the main character Archie, who's having a rough time, about his wishes coming true. Can he wish his way to happiness or really realise that magic wishes may be wonderful but only he has the true power to change his life? Okay, last few. Catherine Woodfine, Elizabeth and the Box of Colours, illustrated by Rebecca Cobb. This is a very short little novel. Elizabeth, the main character who loves to draw and paint bright pictures. A tale about friendship, family and finding joy in the darkest of times. Again, like a lot of these books don't necessarily have to be so mental health based, but it's kind of exploring those feelings. Katia Balin, Birdsong, there is music everywhere if you know how to listen. So this is a proof copy. It's a really nice size actually. I really like the format of this book. It's only about 100 pages. It's a lead title for them for July 2022 at Barrington Stoke. So the blurb says, the Blackbird song uplifts and restores in this heartfelt and captivating novella from one of the most exciting voices in children's fiction, Katia Balin. It's about car crashes in here, she's unable to play her flute, all about the power of music. We've actually published a similar book like this on the Hotkey imprint, so it's more of a young adults book, called The Silver Chain, which is all about the relationship between mental health and music as well. So this sounds like along those kinds of lines. I'm pretty sure I have one more. And then finally we have When I See Blue by Lily Bailey. This is from Orion. From what I've seen already, this is like a bestseller. I've seen this everywhere already on lots of lists online and bookshops. And so it says, there are 4 things you should know about Ben. He's 12 years old. He's the new kid at school. His special number is 4. And he has a bully in his brain. Okay, so it sounds like so this is almost definitely about OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. So it's saying it makes him count to 4, stop bad things happening. Sometimes it tells him to avoid certain colours. It makes things feel impossible. Can he break his rules and be brave? Okay, so it's from an authentic voice. So Lily is the author, she's a journalist, and she suffered from severe OCD. She kept it private, but now obviously has written this book. Oh, that was a lot of books. Thank you for sticking with me through all of that. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And thank you, of course, to all the publishers who have sent me all of these books to me to include in this video. If I've missed any out that you've seen online, seen in bookshops, whatever it may be, do comment it down below and I'll check it out. For now, I've definitely got a lot of reading to be doing, a lot of activities to be cracking on with. I hope that helped. If you have a child, do let me know which of these you're going to be picking up first. And yeah, thanks for watching.